As companies are trying to return to some semblance of new normal, what are some of the ways that they could be addressing these new risks that are associated with ensuring diversity and racial equity in their workforces?
Well, I think that probably the first thing they would want to do is work closely with or forge alliances with their HR team. Because traditionally, diversity and inclusion issues would be seen as the domain of the HR function. And a better way to phrase it or to think about it would be that if the compliance team and the HR team are not working together well on these issues, that's a great way to cause a lot of tension. So you would want to understand sort of the lay of the land and the turf that HR would typically view as its own domain. You would want to also work with them around the internal complaints hotline that your company might have, that you should have, and the ability to track and dissect issues related to racial equity or anti-discrimination issues or anything else like that, to be able to understand what are our risks. If you don't have the right capabilities in place to study the data, if you're not collecting the right data, you're not going to be able to reach any good conclusions. So there are some tools and technology issues to think about there. Certainly there is the regulatory compliance, like straight, tried and true. What are the actual laws that we have to comply with? In the United States, you would have to think about the EEOC and its regulations around discrimination and fair labor practices and hiring. But you'd also just need to think about workplace culture and what do employees feel? What do managers feel? What do managers feel and employees feel that are not the same thing because they're not operating in consensus? And your ability to get that sense of the culture is really going to be dependent on a good relationship with the HR function. So if you have a bad one, nothing else is going to matter. You're already in a bad place.